What's up, beautiful ladies and handsome men? I am not sure what's true or false in this story. I take gossip, tea, rumor, and scandal from yesteryear, from online, from word of mouth, from books, and I ball it up and I tell you guys a story. Now, let's get to it.
What it do, Scandalites and SaysSo Squad? This is Ashley with SaysSo, and I am back with a short scandal video. This is not the video that I was telling y'all about with the steaming tea. That's gonna be out tomorrow. But baby, I had to see if y'all knew this little tea about Barbara Walters. Let's get to it. Now, honey, I got to start off with the mess in this one because I don't know if y'all knew this, but Miss Barbara Walters liked her men very married and very wealthy. Honey, these folks is out here saying that Barbara Walters would come to these high society political parties with her boobs pushed all the way up, ready to steal your man. Now, she was married 3 times, but the folks say that Barbara cheated throughout all 3 of her marriages, baby. And the steamiest affair that she ever had was to the very married and the very black Edward Brooke. Now, when Barbara met Edward, she was 39 years old and she was still married to her second husband. And per Barbara, when she first met him, she didn't mean for it to turn into an affair. But she just couldn't help herself because her marriage, it was almost over. And by this time, she was running around like a hot tamale. So before you know it, she hot tamale'd herself into Edward Brooke's bed. Had a deep, passionate affair, honey. Barbara could not get enough of that black man's stuff. But after a few years of being Edward's side chick, Barbara's conversation started to change a little bit. Now when Edward had to leave the hotel room to go back home to his wife, Barbara was now saying, "What you mean you gotta go back to her? I mean, I'm just saying. Seem like you be here with me more than you are with her. So what's all this you talking about you gotta go back home to your wife?" Yes, baby. Barbara Walters started to be resentful. And so soon she told Edward, "Hey, if I can't be your main chick or your wife, then I don't want to be nothing with you." And child, the folks said first, Edward was like, "Okay, well, bye, B." But then after a few months had passed, he started to miss his little hot furry kitten. And this is where it became scandalous because Edward started working on a way to leave his wife of 30 years. And while he was working on doing that, Barbara was having all of these conversations with certain friends who were journalists. Well, there was this big time journalist that told Barbara, "Hey, I understand you like Edward and all this kind of stuff, but Barbara, I'm telling you, if this man, this black man at that, leaves his wife of 30 years to be with you, if y'all get married, like your whole career is gonna go down the drain, period." And when Barbara heard this, her little tail started to think twice. Oh, baby, she didn't want to lose her career. And she definitely did not want her good name to be messed up. So this is where little Barbara became a little trifling. Because see, even though she was now having second thoughts, in fact, she didn't even want to be with Edward anymore because she did not want to ruin herself. She did not pass this information along to Edward. She had so many chances where she could have came to this man and told him, "Hey, listen, I don't want this relationship anymore, and I'm going to tell you the truth about it. It's because it's going to ruin me and possibly ruin you. So instead of telling your wife anything, just get back with your wife, make things work, stay with your wife." Barbara didn't do any of that. Instead, she sat back and folded her arms and watched this man destroy his marriage because he definitely ended up telling his wife he wanted a divorce. Well, it was only when Edward came to Barbara and said, "Baby, you ain't going to believe what I just did. I just told my wife, now we can be together." That is when Barbara finally said, "Edward, I just can't do this anymore. I just, the public will judge us and all this kind of stuff." And Edward is like, "Really?" "Yes, Edward, don't get upset. You knew this day was coming." Child, listen, these folks done some messy stuff throughout their life. And Edward was in deep boo-boo, honey, because as soon as he told his wife he wanted a divorce, this lady became a woman scorned. So she started doing things like a woman scorned. She started getting a private investigator to follow him around, and eventually she found out about Barbara and anything else that her husband was doing without her knowledge. And not only did this wife have this private investigator, she ended up having a best friend who was a gossip journalist. So everything she would find, she would pass it out to this gossip journalist, and this gossip journalist would end up writing these small articles about Edward and the things that he was doing. And this journalist did start off writing little tidbits about Edward and Barbara Walters, but see, Barbara Barbara had broken it off. So before long, there was nothing else to write. So they couldn't reveal anything real deep. They just put out little stuff like, Edward and Barbara seen around town, but they couldn't really confirm anything because by this time, like I said, Barbara had played those cards and she had broken off with Edward. Well, his wife didn't care about that. At this point in time, she wanted to hurt Edward. So even though she could not find any information about Barbara anymore, she still found other information about Edward. Heck, his wife was so upset that she even revealed that Edward was hiding money in her mama's bank account. This woman was telling that gossip journalist everything, and everything she was telling her, the gossip journalist was reporting. So this was horrible news for Edward. Screwed up his life once the public found out that this man was possibly a cheater. And not only that, he's hiding money. He's not reporting his income, but you're supposed to be a senator. Oh, baby, they made sure at the next election that Edward didn't have no job no more. After electing him several times on this next election, they elected somebody else. Edward's political career was over. It not only destroyed his career, it destroyed the relationship he had with his wife, because after his wife went crazy like this, Edward wouldn't dare go back to her. You know what I'm saying? So he went ahead and divorced her. So pretty much their whole family was destroyed. And Barbara Walters was able to skate off without a scratch, skate off into another relationship, a relationship that she had been having the whole doggone time. Baby Barbara Walters had been cheating on her husband with Edward Brooks, and then after she had divorced her husband, she and Edward Brooks had their affair. Well, while they were having that affair, she also was cheating with a man named Alan Greenberg. And this man was the CEO of Bear Stearns. Get this though, not only was she cheating with him, she also was cheating with Elizabeth Taylor's ex-husband, Senator John Warner. And then kicked them legs back for Alan Greenspan, the chairman of the Federal Reserve. And most of these men that she was doing this with, they were married men, but they were not the only ones that were married. While Barbara was carrying on these affairs, she continued to get married. And her husband were not men to sneeze at. Barbara Walters was out here catching the big fish, wealthy men with millions of dollars. And she still used her hot behind stuff to cheat with other men. And I'm usually out here calling men the cats. But baby, this time Barbara Walters is the cat. Honey, that woman was slicker than some baby oil on a baby's booty. She was a doggone cat, like I just said before, and probably had a big cat too. But anyways, that's me being messy. So anyways, this is the quick scandal of Miss Barbara Walters. I hope you guys enjoyed it. The big scandal video will be out tomorrow. Love you guys so much. Bye.
Honey, the folks say that she also was a Playboy bunny. I forgot to tell y'all about it. All right, bye. Love y'all.